Hi team, this is Om Prakash. In this video, I am going to specifically explain about the parent process of payroll system. The document which is seen here is the parent process flow diagram document. So what are the things we are going to see in this document is relationship between the admin panel and the client, and privilege going to given to the client for e-filing process, and communicating with the HMRC, and how the parent process is going to start and by whom, and how the batch process is going to process, and how the client or admin panel is going to view ordering the pay slips, and when they are going to do this process, and how the current pay figures, that is payment figures, that is net payment figures, is going to view by the client or admin panel, and how the taxation payments are going to made to HMRC, and when it is going to happen, and at last we are going to see about the enrolled employees to the NEST, that is pension scheme. First of all, we are going to see the relationship between the admin panel and the client. So I'm going to zoom in. So first of all, we need to know who are the people who are going to involved in the parent process. As we know before, the people who are going to involve in the parent process are super admin, sub admin, agents. They are going to serve as a admin panel, and if a client needs to communicate with HMRC means he should have a privilege. He should get a privilege from the admin panel. So once the privilege has been given to the client, he also can process the parent process. So the client privilege has been set by the admin panel. So once he got the privileges, he can process for e-filing also. At the same time, the admin panel also can process for privilege. So the whole users can process the e-filing also. So this is the e-filing model. Here I have mentioned 3 modules here which are going to play a vital role for parent process. So before we are going to process for parent, we need to share EAS documents, that is details, that is employer alignment submission details, to the HMRC. So this detail will be shared in the e-filing process. Also FFPS or FPS, that is full payment submission or first full payment submission document, needs to be shared with the HMRC by the users. And also the NVR, that is National Insurance Number Verification Request. So what this National Insurance Number has to be verified by the HMRC, and they will reply it is valid or invalid. So these are the important details required to process for and parent process. And the details, the fields are going to be shared with the HMRC in EAS or this, that is works number of an employee, employee name, tax code, and employee national insurance, and personal details, and default details need to be shared with the HMRC. Before that, we need to verify the national insurance number is valid for an employee or not. So first of all, we are going to process for national insurance request, verification request. So this file will be sent to HMRC in the form of XML or CSV files. So once the file has been uploaded, we will receive notifications from HMRC so that we can know whether the national insurance number for an employee is a valid or not. In the same way, the employee alignment submission details needs to be shared with the HMRC. The HMRC will send the notifications or some messages to us whether it is valid or not. In the same way, we are going to share our first payment submission, that is our first full payment submission or first payment submission. So first we need to know what is a first payment submission. So first payment submission is nothing but, it is a full payment submission. So the full payment submission is nothing but the amount, that is a salary amount or some salary amount, is going to be given for an employee. So this amount needs to be shared with the HMRC and we need to get approval for the parent process. So what are the fields, that is what are the details we are going to share with the HMRC is box number, employee name, tax code, national insurance number, and taxable gross payment, and employee tax amount, employee national insurance amount. We are going to share with the HMRC in the FPS, that is full payment submission. So these documents will be shared with the HMRC in the form of XML or CSV file format. So once we have uploaded or shared the documents, HMRC will reply as in the form of notifications. So once we get the approval from HMRC, we can process for the parent process. So once we get the approval from the HMRC for our parent process, we are going to start the parent process. So before starting the parent process, who is going to communicate or who is going to process the parent? So if the parent process is going to handled by admin panel or client panel needs to be decided. So if the parent process is going to process by admin panel means, that is super admin or a sub admin or agent means, the user, that is admin panel, needs to decide for which client. So for which client the parent process is going to be processed. So from he can select the client list or a client from the client list to process for a parent. So once he have selected the client from the client list, he needs to select the pay period for his employees to process the parent. So if a client is going to process for parent process means, he needs to select the pay period to process parent. So once the pay period has been selected, pay process is going to start here from the list of employees. So we are going to select employees from the list of employees. Here, what are the data we can see or mention here? That is last year to date detail, employee name, basic pay, work hours and rate. That is and working hours of an employee for the mentioned period, and also the overtime worked hours and rate will be provided, will be given, and also the payment amount for the corresponding work hours, basic pay work hours, overtime worked hours. Also the deductions will be viewed in the form. Once we have verified or viewed these details, we are going to see what kind of amount or how much amount is going to process for payroll. So that is total gross pay, and paying tax, and national insurance amount, and pension deductions, current net pay, and previous net pay amounts will be viewed in that form. If a user, that is the user may be admin panel or a client, willing to edit the details for a specific employee, means he needs to go back to the previous form here, and he can edit the details. And also the user can view the pay summary here. So once these details has been given properly and verified properly, it needs to be updated in database by clicking update YTD button in a form. So once these data has been saved in the database, we are going to process for parent. Actually, parent is divided into several modules as mentioned here. So as of now, we have already got approval from HMRC to process the parent or to process for payment to employee regarding his salary. So once we have got the approval from the HMRC, and the same data has been saved in the database, the parent of bank's payment to employee, and view or print pay slips, and view or print current pay figures, and tax and national insurance payment for organization to HMRC, and enrollment of the employee to the next pension scheme will be happening. So now we are going to see the each and every module individually. So once we got approval from the HMRC, the organization that is client or agent or sub-admin or super-admin is going to process for bank's payment to employee. So before processing for bank's payment to employee, he is going to select the pay period, and he needs to select from which bank account of his organization the bank's payment process is going to happen. And once he has selected the bank's details, the payment, that salary payment to an employee or to a bulk of employees will be shared with the banks, which has been selected by the user in the form of CSV or XML format. So we have some clarifications in this bank's payment to employee module, that is whether the user is going to process for bank's payment to employee, that is whether he is going to credit the salary to employee account, or whether he is going to share simply going to share the salary details to his bank that has been selected by him. So once he have selected the bank account and the file, that is a salary file, the same file has to be saved in the database. So once this tax payment to employee process has been done, we can generate the pay slips to employees as per the salary details which has been saved in the database. So what are the things we can see in this view of print parent pay slip model or works number, employee name, and employee payment method, whether he is going to get the salary in the form of check or a draft, or in the amount, that salary amount is going to credit in his salary account directly, and what amount is going to what amount has been given to an employee as a salary, and pay period, end date, and in the same module we can view the payslip of an employee also, and in the same way we can print the payslips also. And once we have generated the payslips, we also can view the current payment figures, that is what amount has been credited as a net payment to employees. In this module, we need to select the pay period to view such details. So once we have selected the payment period, we will see a list of employees has been paid with the net salary, and what are the fields are present in that module is what number of an employee, employee name, and payment method, amount to pay, total gross payment, and pay tax amount, and national insurance amount, and pay period, end date, and in the same model we can print the same detail also. So once the payment of salary has been processed, we can also make a payment of national insurance and tax to the HMRC. So it is nothing but P32 form, and this payment will be provided by the organization or a client or by a admin panel to the HMRC. So as we see here, the payment will be given to HMRC. So we can see here, make payment to HMRC. So this payment will be made to HMRC, and once the payment has been done, as a response we will get a notification back, and we can save the notice in our database for our future use or as a proof. And also we can assign employees to nest pension schemes. So we need to select the pay period, also what are the data has been shared are more important for the enrollment of employee to nest. And once the data has been given, the employee's details will be saved in database. As of now, we have some clarifications in these two modules, because we are going to concentrate on payroll, totally in payroll only. So whether these two module is required for now or not, so we need a clarifications here in this part. So once we get confirmation, we will get into the UI design of this payroll process. Thank you.